Goku looks so fucking cool. There's no reason for me not to play him.
I got called a name and then insulted for using my extra large control.
So like, honestly, I'll be real with you. I'm about to go try hard mode on this demo build.
Oh! Called him out!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with another episode of Mount Paozu Arcade on a Thursday night to keep your toes, man. You don't know when we're coming at you.
Hey, man, it's a classic episode, right? You know, this is the OG episode. We had to like stretch it out a little bit with the executives back in the office, but they said, hey, why don't you try with the good old classic night, Thursday night? Should that be a hot one, right? Yeah, they also gave us low latency, so we're actually talking to you about as live as it can be on Twitch TV. So shout outs to the executives and the Twitch offices for backing up Game Goons and Mount Paozu Arcade.
We should not be trusted, though.
No. That means there's no delay. It means I'm liable to say anything, you know? And considering the things I've been known to say on live TV in the past, you know, this could be a problem.
Well, I'll tell you what people got. That is a problem right now.
Oh,
and that is voting for Summit of Power.
That's the biggest dilemma, isn't it? That's probably like, do you think people lose sleep over that? Do you think people put out a choice and they're like, oh man, I think I regret my decision.
Well, if you think about it, if there's a lot of people I wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at these people, I'm like, I can only have one vote?
Yeah.
Like that fucking sucks, man. Because I'm like, ooh, I really want Kizzy to get in there. Ooh, I really think Super Noon deserves to be in there. You know, I want to put everybody on the West Coast in there. Breaker Dave, get in there, bro. You know,
so you got that FGC hippie mentality. You know, like I hope everybody can win, but
what?
they can't.
Yeah, and I was talking to you earlier about it, and I was like, fuck, dude. With the first go around on the voting process, you said that 20 people will make it in.
Yeah, so the way the rules work for Summon of Power are this is the opt-in clause, and you can like nominate all the opt-ins that were eligible, and the top 20 nominated opt-ins will be going into the voting round, which starts on May 7th. Mm-hmm. So yeah, basically there's two voting rounds. The first voting round determines who's going to be nominated for the finals of the Summit of Power vote off, and then we get to actually hurt some feelings by publicly displaying our allegiance to other people. And you know, this is exceptionally tough for us because several of the people in the top 20 are Mount Paozu Arcade alumni. Now, I just want to thank super producer Gibby, myself, and you for not jumping the gun and saying, hey, yeah, we totally vote for you if you opt in for some of the power.
Mm-hmm.
I remember supporting them, but I never said I'd vote for them. So
yeah, it's tough, man, because I think a lot about the guests that we have on. As far as the guests that we've had, I want them all to make it in. Some of them are already in.
Some of them are looking pretty good. You know, we've got, we'll be going through them later on, but like some of these guys are like humongous leads. Let's get that out of the way. Like there is people at the top of this ladder that have a tremendous lead over just like the people like right beneath them in the third tier, in the second tier.
Yeah, Yehozy, you don't need our help, man. You're good.
Yehozy,
you put in the work on your own. You definitely played the long con on this one.
Oh my god, like there's so much we could say about her before we even get into the the breakdown of like who's gonna be in there. Mm-hmm. And she, if anything, she's like a great example of how to just promote yourself and get yourself out there before you even are aware that there's going to be opportunities. You're just hoping. You're just you believe that much in the game. So shouts to her. But yeah, she's got a great lead. There's other people, and got KBR's in there. We'll be talking about him, obviously. Mm-hmm. I don't want to get too in depth with like the talk because that's what the bulk of the show is about. But this show is going to be us talking about these players. Some of them we know pretty well, some of them we don't. I've been watching videos of some of these guys and how they play. So hopefully I can have some insight on some of the lesser known players. And then of course we have, the favorites like Super Noon and if Reynolds hadn't made it, then maybe. Actually, no, honestly, Reynolds better thank his lucky stars that he won Wednesday night fights that night. Because that dude would be like trailing right now.
I don't think he would have made it in. I think it would have been a bust.
Yeah,
Dude.
man. Like he might not even be like on the second page.
I mean, I feel like a lot of players uh might fall into that problem.
Mhm.
Um yeah, man, it's just tough. Like
It is.
you gotta go out to a lot of tournaments, be visible in some way,
Mhm.
shape, or form. Like you could just be streaming, but that's not enough, man. You think about like some of these people that already made it in. They already had a presence, you know.
And either you already have one or you gotta build it, and you build it by being, constantly present, like you said, being
Yeah.
witty, being personable, being relatable. Just like almost kind of like you're selling yourself to people who you want to enjoy your shit, even if you're the type of person who doesn't want anyone talking to you. You kind of
Uh,
have to play that role because you're basically saying enjoy, like me,
yeah, yeah.
unconditionally.
I think a good example of that is actually, or a good example of things going the right way for them is the Kill Sage, right?
Mm.
Because he had only previously had a really significant appearance at what was the tournament? The East Coast tournament.
Winter Brawl.
Yes, he had a very impressive placing in gameplay there, but I hadn't seen too much of him until he ended up getting sponsored and then winning NLBC that one time, which was all like this little tornado effect that went into this whole voting process.
Well, he also got the red hot rocket up his ass the previous day before voting started when he beat Sonic Fox at Super TSB.
Oh, that's what I was talking about. Sorry,
Yeah,
I said NLBC, but I meant Super TSB.
I mean, technically you were right because it was actually at NLBC, but he
Mhm.
topples the untoppable mountain. He beat the giant, and people were just like, "Okay, cool. The immortal one can bleed. Let's put him in some of the power so he can do it again." There was no way that an entire region of people weren't going to be behind that. He did it the right thing at the right time. And let's not neglect, and I'll be talking about this more tonight, the bumps, the big time bumps that he got, not only from Echo Fox, Sonic Fox, not only from IFC Yipes, but also from being sponsored by Echo Fox itself. This guy is like at the top of the food chain already. And then he proves himself that he belongs there in the perfect moment. Like there was no way he wouldn't win. He's in the first top 3 easily.
Did you get to watch that match?
I've been watching it like pretty much since last week. And I mean, a lot of people have been saying, can he do it again? Can he do this to anybody else? Because, famously, he also had a very tough match against Perfect Legend at the what's it called? Not Dropkick. That other promotion in SoCal that had like the championship belt.
Body Count.
Body Count. There we go. Yeah. Body Count Fight Club. He had a match against Perfect Legend. And it wasn't free. Perfect Legend got 2 matches on him. And say what you want about how hard he beat him or how difficult it was for him. I didn't see at that time someone who could beat Sonic Fox. And now that I have seen that, I'm like, okay, this guy's got a lot more talent than I think people gave him credit for. And Skullgirls players, man, they're real. We've been hearing that since the game before the game even came out. But a lot of people have been saying it's because it's his training partner. He is Sonic Fox's training partner, so maybe it was him playing the player more so than the game. But hey, if he won, he won. That's all I care about.
I do think he's a really great player. I did not get to see the matches, but as somebody that didn't get to see the matches, I really don't have a fair judgment of what happened. And the reason I ask you is, what did you think of the matches? Is because is it possible now? Chris, I know you like to go into conspiracy theory shit about Dragon Ball, but let me take my turn on this.
You want? Okay, by all means.
Is it possible that there was a level of collusion to give him the ultimate?
Oh my God! You are opening up Pandora's box right now. I haven't heard any solid discussion around the topic.
Also, before we go on, I'll say I don't give a fuck either way. Like, dude, you're trying to come up like it is what it is. But I don't know. That's something that was in the back of my mind.
You got put over?
No, I don't know. matches.
I honestly don't see Sonic Fox putting anybody over like that. I think Sonic Fox is very firmly, while he loves his homies, I think he wants his homies to earn everything they got because that's part of why he likes them, because he respects their skill and he thinks that they can do these things. Even when they don't think they can, you know? Even if they think that they aren't good enough, he's definitely the kind of guy that will try to lift them up by beating the shit out of them until they win, you know?
I definitely remember people not being on board with the Kill Sage prior to all this happening. So props to him, man, for really making the strides to make people believers. And fuck, now is he #1 right now? Give me or are we gonna go into the talk to
Yeah,
break
we
that
can, go,
down?
we can go into the topic right now. We can just go
Oh,
into the list. Can we pull up that Summit of Power ranking right now? Nomination ranking. We're going to be spending a lot of time on this, guys. So pull up a seat, get something to drink. Doesn't have to be alcoholic. It is up. Excellent.
damn.
Okay, so I'm going to follow along from my own browser right now. And so we have the 10 invited players, of course. We got Nakyel. We've got, let me scroll down a little bit here. We've got E.G. Chris G, Hook Gang God, Goichi, Apology Man, Kazunoko, Dogra, Reynolds, Sonic Fox, and Leffen, along with one other person to be invited later on at Combo Breaker after they win. And okay, if we can scroll up to the top of the page so we can have a look at the listing here, or at least to the top of the nomination. There we go. So yeah, the Kill Sage. I'm always like messing up that name. With a commanding lead, as we talked about earlier. He started out this way, you know? Like, he had the huge bump from winning Super TSB, plus having all of the best, you know, only the best endorsements behind him.
Definitely. I saw some pretty hefty endorsements for the Kill Sage early on, and also I want to chalk it up to the fact that he has the little Silent Hill video or whatever the fuck that is.
So I'm watching Twitter when he puts his name up there, because he opted in after the fact, obviously, and somebody was giving, I think it was Fox, saying, "Hey, give yourself a real breakdown. Put real information in your bio." And he's like, "No, nobody wants to read about me. They're gonna think I'm boring or something like that." I was like, "Okay, you know, if it was me, I might have mixed it up a little bit too, but I definitely would have probably done something a little more straightforward than this." And then lo and behold, what the hell do I know? It guy's at 3,373 votes. You know. So that's one lesson. If you are on a rocket to the top, enjoy it. You know.
You know what's crazy too is because I didn't watch Super TSB, and I did watch what was it called? Winter Brawl. I did watch Winter Brawl, but I still have no idea what he looks like.
That's hard. I can't really describe him. He has glasses, I know that.
But anyways, that dude's killing it. He's up there.
He's doing a great job, and so totally deserved to be up there.
Now, I think the whole top 6 here is actually very, very interesting. As
diverse, let's put it that way.
Yes, you actually get to see however strategy that these people use, or can kind of figure as to how they made it to the top 6, right? Some of them though are like very surprising, for me at least.
Yeah.
But I guess since we already mentioned one of our guests before, we'll talk about Yohozi in the very nice 2,607 votes in second place right now.
Oh yes, she's earned that just simply by being, like I said earlier, just like personable, entertaining. She is a very good promoter for herself, and you know she's very open with, like, you know, I want to be on the show. Hook me up with being on the show. You know, she loves coming on Mount Paozu Arcade and chopping it up with us. And on top of that, she's invented so much or discovered so much information and so much tech in this game that she built herself a following just as like a professor, more or less. You know.
Yeah, she's definitely started a lot of interesting conversations over her Twitter. And she's always said that her Twitter game is strong as fuck. So
very confident in herself too, and that's something that is, you know, you can't overlook that. You know, a lot of people like to play this game where they're just like, you know, I come up with funny memes and stuff, but I don't really believe in myself. I don't really think I'm the shit. Nah, man, nobody wants to hear you doubt yourself. We're tired of like having to lift people up We just want you to at least, do your fair share. And I think Yahosi does a good job of doing that. And she'll tell you herself, though, and this is the only part I'll probably ding her on, is that she doesn't really have the placings that she would like before she goes into Summit of Power,
I see.
Always a bridesmaid, as it were. Usually getting in top 3 or, top 4. Never quite making it to grand finals. I think she's won some of the local events, but most notably, she got in the grand finals at Michigan Masters against Timo, who's in the 6th place over here, and ended up going down against him. So, obviously, someone who has very much the ability to win these tournaments, but she's just on the cusp of it. And this could be her, really, if she hasn't had a breakthrough already, this could be her breakthrough into greatness here at Summit of Power.
Well, okay, so to break down the differences between all the people that are in top 6 right now, I feel like she's pretty much the only one that capitalized on her online presence, whereas the other players, including the Kill Sage, are all more or less similar. In the sense that they're more known for their play versus just being an online like hub for information or anything like that,
I would agree with you. I think she shares
because look at the difference. Look at the difference. It's a whole 1,000 votes difference from
her to
Hosey's
Blue River.
Yeah, and you can't get that high without a certain angle that you got on yourself, right?
No,
and you could say the same thing for Kane Blue River. What is Kane Blue River's angle? Because he has not made any, at least in the U.S., very prominent placings.
I think
obviously he's very well known.
Top 16 at Winter Brawl is, I think, the furthest he got. I don't know for sure. If somebody wants to correct me on that, feel free. But I will say, of the people, at least in top 6 here, and maybe in the entire voting scheme, he is probably the most accomplished fighting game player on the list. This is an EVO champion. That is up for voting right now. This guy won Marvel. And he's almost made top 8 at EVO and Marvel I think he went back to grand finals next year, if I'm correct. At least he was in top 8 for Marvel. The year that Chris G won.
Bruh. But this ain't Marvel, bro.
This ain't Marvel. But I'm saying this is definitely someone who has built up a legend for himself. Be it good or bad, I'm going to come out and say it right now. People have issues with KBR. He is for sure someone who has had a history of both being a hero to many and rubbing other people the wrong way.
Well, I'll say this. He definitely has been representing DBFZ pretty damn hard in his region.
Yes.
Perhaps maybe the only face in his region. So he's got those guys and a lot of the people that he's gained over the years from being an amazing Marvel player. So I mean, shit. Gibby, can you scroll down a little bit so we could get a see at the numbers of what the next 3 players ended up putting up? Because I want to see the disparity between Kane Blue River and Beyond Toxin and Lord Knight and Timo.
Okay. So Beyond Toxin and Kane Blue River are actually about only 200, a little bit under 200 points apart.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, all of them, the last from Kane Blue River to Timo, are very close. Fuck, they're like literally 10 to 20 votes away from being passing up each other.
Man, I think that's just because like a lot of people just blew their load voting for the Kill Sage and the Hosey, and then they were just like, "Oh man, we got to make this look a little even now."
I know, man. I think I'm about to vote for Timo. Trying to make him get a little closer. Be one of those guys,
You haven't voted yet?
I like to make a close race. No, I haven't. Is today the last day?
I think the 7th is the last day.
We're good, baby. I like to wait till the last day, dude. I'll try to make it.
Oh, you're doing the homework at the last minute. Okay, I feel you.
Yeah.
So Beyond Toxin, NRS player, self-proclaimed as he says. I don't know any of his work from that side of things. At least MKX.
I'm not even familiar with NRS players, to be honest with you, outside of
Sonic Fox, basically, right?
Sonic Fox and
Perfect Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither am I. I don't really know a lot about that community, other than like, those guys will play the games. Those guys are extremely dedicated and they have a great community and support. They got a great support system. So like, this guy's probably been, to some of the best events in our community has to offer. That being said, his Dragon Ball Fighters play is extremely impressive.
Yeah,
I've caught some
definitely.
matches with him versus Fame, and they were online, but some of the things he was coming up with, because I believe he was playing Goku Black, 18, and was it Vegeta? I think he was running Vegeta as anyway, some of the things he was coming up with are very interesting, very creative, and I don't see a lot of people using 18 in the way that he does, and I also don't see a lot of people still using Goku Black, at least with the 18 of Vegeta. Like, that's not something I've ever seen before in my life. And he made it work, and it looks very impressive. And so from him, I would expect, like, a different school of thought as an approach to the cast, assuming he's either still playing the same team. I don't know.
Well, he made, to be honest with you, quite an impact to me in Winter Brawl. Like you said, I saw a lot of shit that a lot of people weren't doing when he was playing.
Yes.
And that clearly people were not ready, because I can't. Did he end up taking out Fame, or did Fame take him out? I don't. Whatever top 16 was, he played some really great matches, but like lost by the skin of his teeth. And just the way that he played so early in the game, that some of the other, because I believe he does have Boo on his team, right? Kid Boo.
Right.
I didn't see anybody else doing stuff like that outside of maybe like Nakil, where there was like insane mix-ups,
back when no one was blocking shit. Yeah.
Exactly. To be honest with you, this shit's still fucking hard to block.
No, for real, it's terrible. Sometimes I mix myself up.
But yeah, man. I believe I know for a fact, actually, Rhyme gave him a bump.
That's the thing. So like here we have, if we had the Marvel community / Latin American communities represented in Cape Blue River, and we have, Danya Hosey representing the Danya Hosey, community.
Yeah, she built her own community. I think
like her own ecosystem.
Yeah.
We have Beyond Toxin, basically the champion of the Dragon Ball community, the Dragon Ball fandom, because Rhyme Style gave him the bump. I think it was like maybe 2 days ago, and he just shot up like 1,000 votes. He got the rub that like nobody saw coming. People were just like, why should I even prostrate myself in front of that community? Why should I talk to any of these dudes? And I'm like, this guy has 70K followers who are active. And they will do whatever he said.
Rhyme's bumps are fucking legendary, dude.
Believe me. No.
So shout outs to Rhyme. Had him on a few times in the past. Looking forward to try to get him on again. But yeah, dude's a beast, man. Like a bump from Ryan will definitely get you somewhere.
That can save your life, man. Like, you could be, I mean, I don't want to say anybody, but like, if you make it to the second round, like a bump like that could get you in the house, man. Like, and you might just come out of left field. Not that Beyond Toxin comes out of left field, but you could almost come out of nowhere. And
I mean, as we get deeper and deeper into the players, we're going to get to people that are very impressive players, but are dipping below the top votes, right? Where you could argue that perhaps they should or could be passing up these, the top 6, at least some of these guys, right?
I mean, I would agree. I would definitely agree that, some of these guys that I'm seeing on the lower level are like people who could win beyond, some of the power.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's a better way to put it, for sure.
Definite threats.
They have real threats. But all right, well, let's go on to Lord Knight. And I mean, didn't he just opt in very recently?
So a little bit of drama behind this one, actually, if you remember, right? Because he wasn't even able to opt in at first because he didn't make placing at either Winter Brawl, and I don't think he was even at final round. And all the other events that he had gone to weren't on the actual weren't on the list. They weren't on the eligibility list. And so a lot of people were really upset because they're like, yo, Lord Knight can't even opt in right now. And I think because of that, they actually extended the amount of events that they were going to allow to be eligible for opt-in. Not only for him, but also for Timo. Because a lot of people wanted to vote for both of these people.
You know what's crazy? Because when he came on here And it feels like it was months ago. When he came on here, he was like, "Yeah, I'm about to be on there on sheer clout alone."
Oh,
And I guess you could say that he did well for himself off of sheer clout alone.
if this is any indication of what the actual numbers will be in the voting round after May 7th, yeah, he's in. He's in 5th place right now.
And that's not to say that he's not a great player. It's just like some of these other players is that they haven't had a really big representation in the tournament scene. Not even really in weeklies as well. So yeah, man,
he's grinding.
Yeah, man, these guys' votes are really fucking close.
Like right next to him is, and I also want to point out that Lord Knight also one of the biggest proponents of information for the game.
Mm-hmm.
If Yahozi is one of them, he's definitely the other. A lot of people go to Lord Knight for information. They watch his streams for tech, and just overall, he has a great mind and grasp for the game.
And he's been a top competitor for years.
Oh yes, the guy's like elite status, and more importantly, the brother can talk. I don't think it's just enough how important it is to be a top player that can talk.
Absolutely, man.
Can you entertain people on the mic? You don't have to cut a promo or nothing like that. You got to smash bottles on your head. That's my job. But he can definitely keep your interest long enough for you to to actually come away with an understanding of what's going on there.
Yeah.
That's very important. And having something like that as some of the power could be a jackpot prize for them. Even if he, let's say he doesn't perform well, he is going to be an invaluable resource both on the mic, off the mic, just providing all the extra stuff that you usually see at these Beyond the Summit events, the media stuff.
Well, you know what? Before we move on to the other contestants, break down real quick why actually being a certain type of personality could play off as very important in this type of series.
Okay, so we're pointing out that Beyond the Summit events are not just hard-nosed tournaments, I think, if anything, the actual tournament takes place on the last days usually, or maybe it's throughout the week, but they do a lot of stuff aside from that. Like they play games, they do interviews, they have like little segments. It's basically meant to entertain people. Beyond the Summit is maybe 60% tournament, 40% entertainment, and they merge it together, and they need people who can, deliver on that other 40%. They don't just need people who can play and stare awkwardly either into or away from the camera,
That's only reserved for the toppest of top players, and those guys are already in.
Exactly, right? Even they're like, I gotta step my game up. Like Reynolds is like, I cannot be I can't be Charles Bronson anymore, man. He's coming to us admitting that he can no longer be the strong silent type who never talks to anybody.
The thing is that he's only like that because he's just really prefers to not put his personality out there, right?
I get that.
In Dragon Ball Fighters, though, you've seen more and more of his personality. He's starting to put it a lot more out there. He's starting to get a lot more comfortable with himself. Being around a place where there's going to be a lot of viewers and stuff. He's going to have a lot of interaction. So, I mean, this shit is real, man. Like the era that we're in right now, it's like you got to give me a piece of your soul, brother.
Yeah, you kind of do. This is show business, baby. Like, no one gets away for free.
Or at least just give us a little bit of that personality, man. Don't hide it all away, man. We want to see what you're about because this thing is really about the people that support you and an opportunity for you to step your fucking game up in the eyes of the world where this is going to be broadcast. So
yeah, and in a case like that, people like Lord Knight have a humongous head start on that, so they are going to be very comfortable and they're going to ease right into a situation like this. And it's going to be easier for the producers and whatnot. And it's going to be easier for the fans who want to watch and see what's the entertainment side of DBFZ's community, what it looks like. So very good pick in my opinion for that.
All right. So moving on from there, to be quite honest with you, we get into pretty much the straight up hard-nosed competitors.
Yeah.
These guys don't necessarily have a huge following in like streaming or other avenues. However, they have definitely had pretty illustrious careers in the FGC in some
Oh
way,
yes.
shape, or form,
Oh yes.
or a blossoming career.
I
I
mean,
guess you
yeah. Some of these guys are actually just now coming up and just coming out of their shell.
So Timo.
Timo. Now I don't know if what he was doing before Canada Cup last year when he beat Justin Wong and Marvel Infinite, but I know after that he was like best Marvel Infinite player in Canada. Probably one of the best Marvel Infinite players in the world, in North America possibly. I don't know. That might be too early to say that, but he just kind of burst on the scene as far as I know from that event and playing so strongly. And when he picked up fighters and played Yohozi at Michigan Masters for Grand Finals, had a very strong showing there as well, at least to the point where people were like, it's kind of bullshit that we can't vote for Timo in Summit of Power because Michigan Masters was not on the list.
Think about this for a second, man. What if Michigan Masters was like 2 months before this, like all this shit happened? Do you think Timo would even be in the conversation? Like, had he not gone to that tournament?
Like, had he not gone to that, would he be in this? Not be in this? I mean, honestly, I don't know. I hadn't seen anything else from him before Michigan Masters, and that might be my fault. But up until that point, no one was really talking about Timo as a threat.
Like, the timing on this shit for a lot of these people was money. Like, even if it was coincidentally, it worked out for a lot of these dudes, man. So Timo, good shit, man. Being a great competitor and fucking putting it up when it mattered.
Man, that's what it's about, Yeah. And like the good thing about fighters is that there's always an opportunity lately, and thankfully, people were watching.
All right, Gibby, if you could do us a favor and scroll us down a little bit so we could see the other 6, or at least see the votes for Super Noon Moke and Kizzy.
All right, Super Noon, NRG's own Super Noon, recently acquired, man. Like, this is the kid that I'm talking about coming out of his shell. If anybody has taken to the media blitz that is, the Summit of Power, like a duck to water, it's definitely the Super Noon. Guy goes on Mount Paozu Arcade last week. Basically tells us he thinks he's a shit. He's going the person that's going to be the biggest challenge in the Summit of Power is him. Like that's like, if anything, it's like a little Reynolds almost. And he hasn't taken his foot off the gas. That's the most important part. Like every day is another way for Super Noon to promote himself, and it's getting over. People are digging it. People are wanting to see more of this. And I mean, he's also someone who played Marvel Infinite and kind of built his name up from that, even though a lot of people weren't really paying attention to that community from the fighters community. So he came into the fighters community and started doing damage. And so he started out as a pure player for the most part. The personality part really didn't start coming into play until NCR, when he started popping off on everybody after the hard wins, after the really hard fought wins, and he was just exploding with emotion. That's the kind of shit people like seeing. They want to see more of that. They want to see someone that cares so much about winning a match in this game that they'll do a front flip off the stage and break their damn ankles.
And he has been in competition for quite some time now. I mean, consistently. I mean, maybe not in longevity wise, but he's been in constant competition at Wednesday Night Fights for I don't know how long. I mean, since MVCI came out.
Oh, he's grinding.
Even before that, but he's familiar with the tournament setting and very comfortable in it, where a lot of these other people, they don't have that weekly thing.
That's very true.
So he's able to build himself up to a level of that he's at now, and he's been pretty damn consistent, dude. He's probably the most consistent at Wednesday Night Fights right now on the West Coast. So it's definitely showing in his placing. Again, he's gonna be performing at Texas Showdown real soon. So yeah, another opportunity to maybe get a boost. We didn't even think about that. Could this weekend see a massive boost for some of these players?
2 things. They probably won't be able to opt in, but if they can, you'll probably see somebody because this tournament's going to end before December. Never mind, not going to opt in.
No. What I'm saying is like, okay, they have this voting, right? and there's gonna be another set of votes, right?
Right.
After they figure out who it's gonna be.
Right. So you think this might
It's
boost
got
the nomination?
that yes, it might boost. Because you said it was the top 20 get
Get
put in.
voted, get put into the next round. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next round is what's gonna matter, right? So if you can at least by the skin, even if it's by the skin of your teeth, make it into the top 20 right now, and then have a fantastic performance real soon, you can see your numbers get boosted up, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Super Noon is gonna be at Texas Showdown, so
I gotta say, straight off the top of my head, this isn't a Texas Showdown episode, promotion episode, but go watch it tomorrow. It starts at 4 p.m. Super Noon is definitely one of the favorites to win the damn tournament.
Mhm.
Like he has come so close in some really stacked competitions,
yeah.
up to the point where he was third to the guy Moke next to him and Goichi.
hmm
So if anybody can, just torpedo the entire competition this weekend, it's Super Noon. And if he does this, I could see his numbers jumping up. Not if there's 1,000 people who haven't voted for anybody yet, they're probably going to go for Super Noon if he wins at Texas Showdown.
Mm.
That's going to be a tremendous boost.
Absolutely, man.
And he'll have the benefit of getting that boost at the end of the nomination cycle, which means they're going to come back for the voting cycle like almost the next day later.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you got the chance, you need to get out there and make something happen.
Yep.
I don't know. It's gonna get exciting after we see who makes it into the next round of voting, because it's gonna get real tight. Like we're talking about splitting the votes. Like it's gonna be hard
Oh yeah.
to really vote in that round, because I don't know, man. Like my allegiance is to a lot of these West Coast dudes or people that are on this show actually, because I want to see them do well. But you can only pick one.
Yeah, you can only pick one. That's so rough. But at the same time, that's how voting works. I mean, I had to, and this is real tough for me because up next, we're going to talk about Moke.
Yeah.
And Moke was my nomination.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly,
Mhm.
I thought I could have more than one vote because the damn thing said, if you follow Smash GG or something, you can get 10 nominations or 10 votes. And I was like, oh, I get to vote for 10 people. This is great.
Mhm.
And it turns out like, no, your vote just counts 10 times or something like that. And I'm like, oh, all right. That's cool. But yeah, Moke. This is a difficult one because Moke is one of the strongest players we've seen in this game.
Mhm.
Had a chance to take down Goichi at NorCal Regionals Grand Finals, put on a very valiant effort, but was unable to finish up the job. Still a very strong showing, though. And he's not even in top 5.
You know what's crazy though is that when I know everybody freaked out really early when they first opened the voting. He was super low when they first started the voting. I was like, oh shit, Moke is way the fuck down there.
Yeah. Moke is all the way down there. And as a Trunks player, I'm hurt. As a Trunks player, fellow Trunks player, this guy has showed me things that, I had given up on. He showed me how to use things that I had given up on. And I'm like, okay, this is the kind of guy that I want to see more of, for personal reasons, obviously. But even beyond that, it was difficult to stomach that he wasn't already in the top echelon with people like Yohozi and Killsage and KBR, I'm not saying that he should be taking anyone else's spot. It's just weird that he wasn't there in the first place,
It is weird because he's definitely been to a lot of tournaments and done really well.
Yeah.
And he does have a signature team that not a lot of people are rocking right now.
And a lot of people get excited to watch him play, and I just feel like it's strange. I mean, it's not strange. It's definitely one of those things where I said, can he make people want to see him do more than just play fighters?
Yeah.
And I think that's where it keeps coming back to is like, I mean, obviously Moke is from a totally different part of the planet from where some of the power is going to be taking place.
Mhm.
And he hasn't really proven to anyone that he's worth watching outside of the game, So it could be something where like he gets like, I mean, I don't expect this to happen, but like on paper right now, if there's 3 days of events and let's say the tournament happens on Sunday and they just run right through it, he's basically only going to get 1 day out of them, You're only gonna get 1 day out of Moke.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 days is just gonna be you trying to get Z to translate for him. You know, not that there's anything wrong with that. Maybe he's a really funny guy. I don't know, but I can see why a lot of people who maybe watch Dragon Ball Fighters and consider themselves hardcore fans just don't know if that's what they want out of a Summit of Power weekend. But at the same time, one of the favorites to win it at the same, you know.
Yikes! Yeah, man. It's gonna get tough. But from two very strong tournament players and on to another great West Coast tournament player, Kizzy motherfucking K, man.
Now, this is why I said this was hard for me, you know, because this was like the person this is one person I really want in Summit of Power. Kizzy K, probably the most genuine person in the FGC. The nicest dude, one of the nicest people I've ever met. I don't think there's anyone. Well, there's people that got bad things to say about him, but they're usually assholes. You know, like no one who's worth a damn has anything bad to say about Kizzy K.
It's just because he's good, bro. They just don't like to lose to him.
I mean, I get you. That's definitely like, you know, some people have a hard pill to swallow. But one of the guys who was the earliest to this game, you know, playing it back before like at E3 Anime Expo, you know, putting hand. He came on here and told us how the game worked during the second episode of Mount Paozu Arcade.
Yeah, man. I mean, to highlight his level of play before Dragon Ball Fighters came out, I would probably consider him like kind of similar to Super Noon in a way where he plays a lot of games, but he blew the fuck up in Guilty Gear, and he started being a very consistent top placer and very exciting player to watch. He's been sponsored by other teams as well, so people know that he's a big time threat and he's a fantastic player.
Yeah, he's not a stranger to like being at the top of the level too, because he has won tournaments in his respective games. You know, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, Uniel. Back in the day, he was kicking ass in Uniel also.
He fucks with us in KOF a little bit, man.
He fucks with us in KOF, but he gets shook by Joe. So you know, I don't blame him for that. I don't blame him for that though. But yeah, I honestly, you know, hope he makes it into the second round. And you know, if you guys want to see like an entertaining guy who's gonna be very fun to watch both in and outside of the game, you gotta vote for Kizzy K.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. He'd definitely be a great addition to the scope of what Summit of Power is trying to accomplish.
Definitely.
All right. Gibby, if you could give us another scroll down, please. Honestly, man, I don't know this next player.
Yeah, I don't either, and I feel kind of bad because he's
got to be a somebody.
Yeah,
he's got to be a somebody.
He does a Mr. Satan like you know reference in his biography, so I'm like, but he puts up. He's another guy to put up the troll video for his biography. And I mean, it's cute, but it's actually literally a dog named Wilka. I don't know if this is real.
He doesn't even have an actual like picture.
No, it's just a video of a dog. It's got like 17 million hits. What the fuck? Oh man, I feel like we're getting trolled.
Well, he's in there.
He's in top 20 somehow.
What an interesting bio.
Yeah.
But FP Chavo has managed to earn himself a nice, actually pretty decent separation from the next candidate as well. Almost 300 more.
300 more. That's a big lead too. And this is Doza. Now I remember watching Doza from Final Round, and his claim to fame was putting the screws to Dogra and pools. So,
I remember that.
Yeah, that was definitely like like a woohoo moment for him. I think it was BlazBlue. I think that happened then. Yeah. But
really early. Yeah.
I haven't even seen him play Dragon Ball Fighters, so I don't know if he has a skill at the hands in that. But hey, he beat Dogura once, so I can tell you from experience that counts.
Props to get in that many votes.
Yeah.
Despite not having a lot of exposure.
I mean, he has place. He had the place to get those votes at a tournament, so he's definitely got the ability to beat a certain percentage of the people in his area. So shouts to him. But yeah, I don't know much about him, but I'd be glad to learn more. If anybody's got information on him, please send it my way.
And up next, we got
Yeah, boy.
Breaker Dave. Breaker Dave is actually a very impressive player. And also plays a very unique team, and I think would bring a lot to the Summit of Power as a contestant.
For sure. I mean, I know a lot of people were trying to get him to drop his team, but he's like, no, I'm gonna make it work. He refused to give up on his team.
Yeah.
And I mean, having played his team, like it's not fun. That is not a fun team to play against.
It's also the team that you better know the matchup, but you probably don't.
Yeah, totally.
And especially this is the problem you have when you play specialists, right? It's like they know a lot of shit that you've probably never seen before because A, people don't play that character too much. B, that's all he's been playing.
Yeah.
So his level of knowledge is pretty deep with that squad, but yours or a lot of the competitors may be like, fuck, dude, this may be the guy that they would have to train up for.
To watch out for, yeah, because you don't want to be the guy that lost because you didn't know to match up with Team Gohan, and Fat Boo. Like, who plays against Fat Boo anymore?
Fuck, man. Online.
That's a real problem, man. Trust me.
Yeah, you just hop in online. Hope you play somebody. Hope you play Breaker Dave.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's on there. He'll play you. He doesn't care how many times he has to beat you.
Yeah. But yeah, man. For me, Breaker Dave, I would definitely like to see him get a little bit of a bump here.
I think he deserves it.
But another pretty much straight up tournament player and skillful player that is in the top 20.
He's always doing pretty well at SoCal events too. So
yeah, he's always at drop kick
fights.
Yeah, so the dude's putting in time. He knows his shit. He's definitely he has a lot of potential to fuck shit up here.
For sure.
Now moving on
to
a guest that we've had. Honestly, one of my favorites as far as his performances and his uniqueness with his team. Gibby, also, if you could scroll down a little bit for us once again. Fame is a dude that I was really hoping was a little bit higher, and bums me out that he's this far behind.
Yeah, Fame, quite possibly one of the nastiest players in the game currently. Had a tremendous showing at Winter Brawl, almost putting Sonic Fox down and still making him sweat. And inventing the dirtiest cell shit I'm not even sure if it was on the fly or not. I'm sure he had some idea of what he was doing, but still, just filthy work there. Playing a very unique team on top of that.
He's definitely a super knowledgeable dude. He even just talking to him, he breaks down the game in a way that simplifies a lot of shit that really, I think he said that the only reason he loses or that he believes is because he beats himself.
Yeah, that was one thing that happens to a lot of people, but he communicated to us before final round that he felt pretty confident about not only getting top 8 in fighters, but winning BlazBlue. And personally, he really had to worry about was Galileo. In his words. It played out like that.
He's played super elite players, especially in his BlazBlue career, and his skill level and his uniqueness and creativity definitely plays out in this game, and I feel that that's really important to get displayed at Summit of Power, especially for a game that people are saying, at least visually, or the characters that they see has become very vanilla. Fame will definitely be that player that brings you some interesting new shit on screen, on top of he's just a great player in general. So I would hope that he gets a bit of a bump after this round, but at least I'm happy to see him at where he's at right now.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on.
Oh boy.
EMP Rogue Yoshi.
I remember we were talking. We hadn't seen this dude for years.
I know him as like KOF player from years ago. So I know he plays a lot of games, not just KOF, but I've seen him a lot in forums for KOF.
KOF 13, doing a lot of work with Hwaja at the gate.
I mean, even before that, like with
Yeah.
the other KOFs. But yeah, man, he does play NLBC, right? I know I've seen him somewhere.
I saw him at the qualifier and at NLBC,
Oh, okay,
and
that's where I've seen.
and he had a very impressive Nappa. A very impressive
Yeah, he's
Nappa
been doing
13.
well. He's actually done really well. And shit, despite also not being a highly visible player, got himself in a pretty nice spot for right now.
He's in the top 20.
I mean, if we could talk about people that just have clout, I mean, he's ahead of a player that I think a lot of people know. So definitely made it work for himself.
Yeah. I think and that's cool because that's basically based on pure performance alone.
Yeah, it's definitely gone a long way for Rogue Yoshi.
Like I don't know a lot of people who are standing for Rogue Yoshi just because they're a fan of his. They might, as far as I know, they saw him play once at NLBC, and they were in love with him.
Yeah,
that's powerful.
That's right. Yep. All right, now moving on to Cloud 805. This is actually a little surprising. I would have thought that off of his name alone, he would have been able to move up a couple of spots.
I would think so too, mainly because he has had some pretty nasty brawls with some of the people who are in the top 6, the top 10, you know? Very famously, Super Noon. He has had some straight knockdown drag-out fights with Super Noon. And to see him that low, I'm not going to worry just yet because really you just have to make it past the first round. The nominations don't really play into the voting round. So it's still very much possible that Cloud 805, the Capcom Cup, Battle for the Stones champion, can still pull a lot of numbers in the voting round. You know, right now he seems to be kind of taking his time with, like, you know, Dragon Ball Fighters, just learning the game, competing. I don't know if he's going to Texas Showdown. I don't think he's been to Wednesday Night Fights, but he does a lot of streaming from home, you know, does a lot of labbing. And he's a smart guy. He's a smart dude. So I would not be surprised if he's kind of just biding his time, making sure he's got a solid place in top 20. And then when the voting time comes, hit that campaign trail, baby.
Yeah, this is gonna get really interesting, man. Like I said, surprised on some of these people's placings. Cloud 805 is a very well-known player, and he's behind players that arguably are not that close to how notable he is and how much exposure he's gotten over the years.
Yeah, man, very accomplished player too.
So I think right here at this point, it gets really interesting. Yeah, as soon as we jump into the next person who honestly I'm not too familiar with.
Ninja Elephant.
And by the way, Gibby, if you could scroll down for us again.
Ninja Elephant. It has a very long bio. There's a lot to be said here for years of experience, but there's no fear for a boy who can face 15-frame delay without hesitation. I mean, he's confident at least.
So he's an online player. Is that what he's trying? He's trying to put that out there.
I believe so. Yeah. Notable DVFZ placings: 4th at Anime Ascension. Hello, beating Kizzy K and Breaker Dave. 3rd at NorCal Dogfight.
What?
February 2018, beating Yohozi.
What? He just laid out the path, bro.
The body count is real with this one.
You know what's so crazy is that he beat all these accomplished players. And it's like, you know what? I won't say that he's not that well known. He's never come on my radar. But obviously he's on somebody's.
He's NorCal Anime, so it's kind of 50-50 on that.
Well, I mean, alone by him describing that, I guess you could say that he is definitely a force to be reckoned with. And
yeah.
Also not being all that well known is, I guess, done pretty decent for himself.
I mean, hey, you know, definitely. I've seen. Now that he mentions, I do know his Twitter app. I've seen him do stuff, tech wise, on Twitter before, and I've been pretty impressed with it. So, haven't seen him play competitively, so I have to check those archives out. But I mean, the guy presents a nice bio for himself, and his body count is impressive. So he can only get better, I assume.
Exactly. On to the next player, Toki. I'm familiar with Toki from him either online on YouTube videos or at Wednesday night fights for rocking one of the most solid Krillins in the scene.
Yeah, man. A lot of people have given up on Krillin, but Toki's like one of the only two people that I know will still play Krillin. And it looks annoying as hell. Gibby
Honorable,
doesn't count because
honorable mention to Gibby. He's trying to get his honorable mention.
You don't even play the game anymore. Why are you not on this voting list, man?
But yeah, he's a pretty solid player. Wednesday night fights is a pretty stacked event, and he does really well for himself while handicapping himself with the Krillin. but we say that, but we don't know the potential of Krillin.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's some stuff with that I just can't deal with. So it's a toss up for me.
Yeah.
This is a weird one up next. Ebonic Plague.
I can't look at his name without thinking bubonic.
Well, that's the point. Yeah.
I always read it as bubonic plague, but yeah, ebonic plague.
Ebonic Plague, commentator from Oregon. He's actually, I think he was on one of our boot camps.
I don't think
not?
so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, he's a KOF commentator. I know that. He did some work for KOF for Oregon. He commentates a lot of games as far as I know.
Yeah.
Doing well for himself, making it in the top 20. I've never seen him play Dragon Ball Fighters though, and that's probably my fault.
No, he has definitely been into Dragon Ball Fighters. Since it got announced, the dude's been pretty hard on.
No, I'm sure he's been
fighters.
I just never seen him play on stream or anything, so I don't know if I can gauge his gameplay style. But I know he's a very
he probably got 9th at Anime Ascension.
Did he? Oh yeah, he got 9th at Anime Ascension.
That's what he says. Whoa.
I feel like you should have not to question his skill level or anything like that, but Anime Ascension was also on the same weekend as NCR, and a lot of people have been asking for an asterisk on placings because of that. But I mean,
I don't know, dude. They still have some pretty good players over there.
Both of those terms were stacked as hell. Yeah, man. Which is why the next guy, the place that he's in is just bizarre.
This is really weird. If you talk about the anime community coming together, what happened? Like, for real. Yeah, Gibby, if you could scroll down again for us. Lost Soul is a pretty amazing player.
He's the 19th ranked, in the 19th place for nominations, though. Amazing player. He wins Anime Ascension over Reynolds, and he's in the 19th place.
Yeah, man, this dude has been a pretty damn good anime player over the course of actually, I don't know. I just know I've known him from maybe the past 2 years, doing really well for himself. But fuck.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, dude. Like I mean, I guess there is something to be said again about how you promote yourself versus how you perform on stream and in tournaments. I think here, more than anything, we are seeing the importance of promoting yourself the right way. Having that legion of people behind you, talking to the right people, getting the right channels to just get your name out there, and just being the most likable. And sometimes you can't do it. Sometimes you're just like, I did everything I could. I made all the right jokes. I write the best memes, and maybe people just don't like my haircut.
Well, shit, man. Some people just don't want to play that game or just don't like it, man. Like,
yeah, that's totally fine.
And somebody that's like that, I mean, Reynolds in Summit of Power, but I feel like he would probably suffer the same fate.
Yes.
If he was in the voting process, I think he'd probably be somewhere over here, unless he did some miraculous shit.
Which would be the only merit. He would have to just go and be like, if he hadn't won the qualifier, he probably could have got in on just being a dominant player week after week until somebody got them in.
To be honest with you, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because he doesn't travel. Like,
that's true,
if you think about Super Noon, he wins all the time, but he also goes to other places. He's had pretty important performances. Like, if you think about Lost Soul won Anime Ascension, who did he beat?
Reynolds.
Exactly. So he'd
Yeah.
probably be somewhere over here. And Lost Soul's a pretty consistent player too.
Yeah.
So we might have a certain perspective on somebody like Reynolds because we've been around him all the time, and maybe that might sway the way that we think in our idea of like, nah, he probably wouldn't be that low. But objectively, I think he would. I think he would be that low. And I think since he's not a guy that, at least lately, travels a lot for tournaments, I think you could pretty much say that you'd have to stick a fork in him.
Oh man, that's so depressing, man.
But yeah, man, Lost Soul, I hope you make it, man. I hope you hold on strong to that 19th spot. You're a great player, and hopefully you get in so you can make a good campaign for the next voting process.
Totally. And again, this could be something where he's saving his campaigning load for voting. You know, a lot of people could just be like, okay, I got some fire memes and tweets ready to go, but don't waste them before the actual second round begins. So when it really counts. And I think he's really close to almost being on the edge here because the person after him has 351 votes and the person after them only has 348. It's literally a 3-point difference.
You know, something I was thinking about is some of these people that have a huge following that gave some of these players a bump. Do you think that they'll stay loyal to the bumps that they gave in this voting process? Or do you think, because, man, these guys got some swaying power, man.
They do. Like, we've already seen what Rhymestyle can do just by saying, hey, vote for Beyond Toxin. How much is it worth to you?
It'll be so crazy if it's like, you know what, bro? I'm kind of feeling fame today. Let me give fame the bump. And then it's like, what?
I guarantee you right now, and I'm not saying I'm going to do this because I want this to be as pure and honest as possible. And I know I'm totally, like, you know, incriminating myself right now by saying this, but I could send Rhymestyle a video of fame and he'd be, hey, yeah, what do you think of him? And I'm not saying he would do this, but if he actually liked him, and Rhymestyle was like, yo, this guy's hella sick. How come I haven't seen this before? That could be lights out for somebody.
I don't know, though. I do see Rhyme as being a pretty loyal dude.
I'd say Rhyme as being very loyal. I don't think he would just turn his back on Beyond Toxin, but I also think it's on Beyond Toxin to give Rhymestyle something to vote for, just something to promote. You know? You can't just ask him, like, yo, vote for me, right?
Exactly. So, well, and then on to the next.
And this is
player.
The 20th person.
I don't know who this person is.
I have no idea who this person goes by the name SQ. There is a Chie avatar. So they're Persona 4 player. Don't know much about that community other than the people who carried over from BlazBlue and Guilty Gear into Persona 4 and Jeremy.
Yeah, and
oh, he's German.
Apparently put a lot of effort in multiple games. So maybe you've put just enough, SQ.
Yeah, he played Street Fighter 5, Guilty Gear Xrd, and of course Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah.
I'll watch his video later on tonight. That looks interesting. It looks fairly recent too, because there's a Bardock player in there. But his first big Dragon Ball FighterZ event was Michigan Masters, and he came in 5th. So definitely was there with some heavy hitters. Used to the dealing some damage.
I'll tell you who could have made it in, like, in the top 20, and they probably didn't even try. Is remember Mephistopheles?
Oh, shit.
Dude, I feel like that dude could have got the bump. Or is it? No, I was about to say, they can't have international people here. Yeah, dude, he would have got the bump.
No, they can have international people, man. They got Leffen.
Mephistopheles would have got in, dude.
Is Leffen SoulCal now?
Fuck, I don't know shit about Leffen. I mean, as far as, like, his personal life.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. But no, they got, like, Goichi. I mean, they got Moke and stuff. People can come in from but Mephistopheles with the commanding performance and then the pop-off afterwards.
We never forgot.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite all-time Dragon Ball FighterZ moments, you know? Like, just the fire in his eyes when he telling that dude, like, I'm better than you, and you won't even argue against me because you're a bitch. Like, yes.
And then the commentator there was so awkward. like, oh, this is how we're doing it. Okay. But yeah, moving on to the next one. Zero Q. Oh, European player. Maybe he knows Mephistopheles.
Possibly.
Maybe
That's
he's happy that Mephistopheles didn't get in on this. He's like,
He's like-
he's my only enemy.
I mean,
I
they're
gotta
both-
beat that guy.
I think they're both German too. Yeah, so possibly. He's probably
Yeah.
screw Mephistopheles out.
I don't know. Yeah, again, I don't know too much about that guy.
Yeah. Next up is PGTV Lowry. You're looking for Lowry? That's me. That's all we needed to know, I guess. He says he's the new kid on the block. I haven't seen this guy play, but he sounds familiar. And I'm like, Lowry, like Mike Lowry? Like Bad Boys Mike Lowry?
Dude, but yeah, bad boys, bro.
Yeah.
Well, he says he's been placing top 8 at every NLBC he's attended, which I don't know how much that is.
I mean, that could be quite a bit.
And then at Bum's birthday bash, I am a former Magic the Gathering pro player. I'm sure that plays a little bit into fighting games, or if not a lot.
Got the head games on lock, I guess, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, shit, not bad. 346 votes.
Yeah. Only 2 behind 0Q, who is 3 behind SQ. Like that last spot. That last spot is so contested right now.
Yeah,
like, I
dude.
almost think you could just like start a ton of drama around these 5 people, you know?
Yeah, dude. What I want to see is somebody like Rhymes Clout just give one of these dudes the bump and fuck shit.
Dude, like, oh man, that would. Ooh. God damn, man. Like, you got Coup d'etat, who I was told before the show, he actually beat Reynolds at Wednesday Night Fights last night.
Oh, really?
Then, yeah, apparently he beat Reynolds at Wednesday Night Fights. He did not win the tournament.
Uh-huh.
Because Reynolds won the tournament, but he beat Reynolds in pulls.
So he should be in. I mean, technically, right? He should actually put that in his biography.
I would definitely update that saying like Reynolds was free to me.
Famously beat the shit out of Reynolds.
And up next we have Necroundine, who is actually fairly well known in the fighter community, at least on the East Coast. Fairly consistent player, always showing up to NLBC. When Fox and Hook Gang God aren't there, he's the one that's usually winning. And he was also one of the first sponsored players for Dragon Ball Fighters. Unfortunately, it has apparently not netted him anything more than 292 nominations, which is still in contention for the 20th spot. It's only going to take about 100 votes.
Hey, man, you guys fucking made it in. and to get nominated at least.
No, yeah, you got opted in. I mean, these people were all relevant, but it's just like man, like there are so many people that I could see putting on a good show as Summon of Power that we obviously can't do them all tonight.
So to like, I guess, kind of wrap this up on our thoughts, I want to pose this question actually: what is the biggest head scratcher of replacing in here?
The biggest head scratcher for me, probably. Even though I understand it, it's probably Cloud 805. I don't think Cloud 805 has done everything he needs to garner the nominations.
Yeah.
I think he's doing a very solid job still, and I think he's going to be doing fine. He's probably going to turn it up in the voting stage, but I'm still surprised to see him down where he's at versus Supernoon, who is all the way up where he's at. But Supernoon is also like, grinding hard for the votes.
I feel like a lot of these people in the top like 12 are all vying for a very similar audience, which would make it difficult to really put all your eggs in one basket at this point, man.
That's
I mean, that
also true.
There's a lot of West Coast players, a lot of people that are friends or from the same community. I mean, Cloud 805 is from the same community as Supernoon and Kizzy and all these guys, man. Breaker Dave. Yeah, so
you know what I'm gonna tell him? You know what I'm gonna tell him? You gotta do what I did. You've got to go outside your community. You got to reach across the aisle to people who like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Fighters and say, I want to entertain you. You obviously don't watch this enough to know who's who, I'm here to help you out with that. And you're most likely watching this because you like Dragon Ball and you like being entertained. So allow me to do that for you. Like people who follow Ryan, people who follow Bardock Obama, people that follow, Emperor Big D. Reach out to those guys because those guys are gamers too. They definitely have Dragon Ball Fighters interest. And they have been telling me that they want to have some kind of stake within the community, within the, they want to be able to follow along. They want to say that this is a game I enjoy and I am, a part of, and I would definitely enjoy something like Summon the Power, but not enough people are reaching across the aisle for that. Not enough people are seeing what's beyond the FGC side of things, I believe, except for Beyond Toxin, who was like, boom, 1,400 votes. And I'm not even. And the weird thing is, I don't think that's nowhere near the maximum he could have got for that. That's probably like maybe 10% of Rhyme Styles' power.
Yeah, man. All I can say is going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting. And the reason why I say all that is because what we've been saying since this game got announced is that this is going to not only bridge the gap between all the FGC communities, which we can see here, but it's also going to push fighting games into a side of things that it has never seen before, which is the fandom side. It has a fandom like nothing else in the FGC. Not like Mortal Kombat, not like Street Fighter, not like KOF even. Dragon Ball is its own beast altogether. And they've got to start treating it like that. They've got to start treating it like there was something here before they got here. Because as we can see, there's not enough votes to go around. Why not go out and reach out beyond your own scope?
Yeah.
Show them the video. You show the videos look how sick I am in Dragon Ball Fighters. You ever seen somebody play Vegeta Blue like this? You like Vegeta Blue? Fame's the best Vegeta Blue in America.
All right. So we're hitting the hour. Question.
Okay.
Who did you opt in? Who did you nominate?
Who did I nominate? So
what was your nomination?
So I nominated Moke. And then immediately told everybody to vote for Kizzy K. That's a true story. Actually, I was told that I could switch my nomination by voting again, but it never happened. So I guess I'm stuck nominating Moke, which I'm fine with because I definitely think Moke deserves to be in Summon of Power, just purely from a competition standpoint. And obviously, with the announcement that I'm commentating the Summon of Power,
that's right.
I tried my best to be as unbiased as possible. I'm not even sure that all the other commentators openly nominated anyone. I think it's like me and Ren's probably the only ones that were like putting out our nominations like that.
Whoa. So let me tell you something. I'll just skip over the fact that you got in to commentate.
Oh,
bro.
Yeah. So that's a good announcement, right? And I'm gonna be tooting my horn about this one for a couple of weeks. That's right. Your boy was invited to the Summit of Power to commentate and perform media duties for Beyond the Summit. This is quite possibly the biggest thing I've ever done, and I'm so proud to have been entirely just, accepted by this group of people who have never, and admittedly, by their own admission, they've never done fighting game stuff before, and I am so proud that they enjoyed my stuff. They enjoyed my work. Even before I sent it to them, they knew who I was, And I honestly, I always hear about people who like my stuff and, they congratulate me on jobs well done and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying I'm bored of that. I love hearing that shit. But to see
yeah,
that
you definitely do.
to see that it is getting somewhere and that it's paying off and that people are digging it and they want to give me more opportunities. I'm like, I just want to do the best job I can possibly do, Like when I got like the word that they were gonna pull me in, like I flipped the table at work. I almost told him I quit, but I was like, no, I can't do that. It's only one weekend.
He's like, I quit for this one job that's not consistent. I'm just gonna do this one.
Once a year, baby, I'll be alive. I'm gonna work at McDonald's all year round until every year in June,
Yeah, man, that's cool, dude. Congratulations to you, man. I mean, you definitely been representing DBFZ for quite some time now, and you got talent, bruh.
Thank you.
I hope you do well. You're also a pretty big personality. I like to see how you stack up against the other personalities.
Oh,
there.
dude, we've got like, you know, the dream team here. Like, what we got? We got Z, we got Sajam, we got Chris Matrix, we got Li Joe, we got Renge, and the guy that I'll be honest, people have been asking me if I'm going to work with this dude since like 2011, 2010. People have been asking me, hey, are you ever going to work with Yipes on anything? And we've talked about it before, but like we just never played the same game. Like I asked him if he wanted to learn KOF, and he was like, "No, it's too hard for me." And he asked me if I wanted to learn Marvel, and I was like, "It's too late for me." So finally, things synced up perfectly, and there's a possibility at this event that myself and Yipes could be on the mic at the same time, and I feel like the world isn't ready for that.
Well, you might have to put your best foot forward on that one and start shotting it from the ceiling when you get there.
Oh, dude,
Be on with Yipes.
The first thing I'm gonna ask him is like, can I swear on this mic? Am I allowed to? Is this an esports event or is this a Dragon Ball Fighters event? Because I've got so many things I want to say. Nah, it'll be nice and clean up until they allow me to, you know, let loose a little bit. But yeah, man, like I'm not letting go. Like I'm gonna be, you know, up till 11 the entire time. And if they thought I was yelling before, they ain't heard shit yet.
All right, man. Gibby, super producer, hop on in, man. Let's ask these questions.
Blow through.
I've been waiting for the question segment for a while now. All right. We don't have too many questions this week because, you know, we don't have a guest, and that's fine.
That's good.
Okay. First question comes.
Big numbers.
Let's see. First question comes from Benigmatica. He says, with 4 DLC characters revealed so far, do you fear that the leak list for the remaining ones might be true?
For season 1, I'm definitely fearing
I don't fear. I don't fear it. I welcome it.
I mean, I'm not afraid of it either. Like, I don't think.
Give me that cooler.
Well, let's not be too hasty because that definitely means we could possibly be getting base Goku and base Vegeta, and people are going to 50-50 flip their shit or be completely okay with it, with not really excited.
Isn't that what all the kids like to say? Base this and base that. I mean, aren't they happy? Shouldn't they be happy for this? Come on. All right. Next question.
I can finally say it on stream. Thank you, base Vegeta.
There you go. Next question comes from, or it's not a question. It's more of a statement and a question. It's Benigmatica again. He says, congrats to you, Hell Pockets, on becoming one of the commentators for the Summit of Power.
Oh my god.
On the other hand, which commentator would you like to work with, either in that particular tournament or outside of it?
Okay, so that's actually a good question. So obviously, I've worked with Renge, and I enjoy working with him. I've never worked with Sajam, but I've been wanting to work with him for a little bit because we, a year ago, had a little bit of a blow-up at NCR that was caught on camera. And it's fine. We're cool. It's not like we really hate each other or anything. At least I don't think we do. I don't hate him. But I kind of want to work with him because he's always accusing me of trying to blow my own voice out. And I kind of want to see if I can infect him with the excitement that I do whenever I'm commentating. I don't think there's anyone who's ever commentated with me that doesn't feel like they have to ratchet up the excitement level at least a couple notches, you know? So I want to get him a little bit out of his shirt. I'll make him take out the suit and tie a little bit there, you know?
You want him to take his shirt off?
I want him to, like, loosen up the collar a little bit. Loosen up my buttons, baby.
Oh, boy.
He keeps fronting. Say what he gonna do, and I see nothing.
Oh, boy.
Dude, this shit is getting silk stockings.
Yeah.
Mature rating.
But I honestly cannot wait to work with Yipes. I've been wanting to
take off your shoes, bro.
Just get on the mic with Yipes for almost a decade now. Shit.
Oh, Jesus, get off his nuts, dude.
My bad, jeez.
I'm joking.
I want to point out that I commentated with you, Pockets, and I most definitely did not ramp anything up. Anything.
Hey, there was definitely a moment back in 2010 or 2011 where you did.
Where I looked at you and shook my head in disappointment. Yeah, you're right.
It was the most vigorous head shake I've ever seen from you.
I've definitely commentated with Chris after looking like he's about to die on stream, where he definitely was not ratcheting anything up until maybe like a really important moment in the match.
Was that like in 2012? Because
I'm not gonna say when, but
now he's gonna look for it.
Present.
All right. Next question comes from Lionheart16. He asks, if there was one single buff or nerf you could give to each character, what would they be? Jesus. How about just one character?
What's the one character that you want to get a buff? Either or, just one though. Buff or nerf. One that you want. Oh, I'm gonna hit this fucker with the nerf.
I would probably nerf Cell. Perfect Cell.
He's fair, dude.
I don't think he needs invulnerability frames.
Oh, that's why I get hit. Oh.
Yeah. Not on that perfect attack starter. I don't think he needs that. Everything else is kind of fine, but that's like, that's stupid. I know it's upper body, but whatever. No, doesn't need it.
What would I do? What would I do? Buff Beerus, because it's really fucking unfortunate that it looks like should be a way better character, but due to the fact that when he calls his orbs in, if you just put him in block stun and his orbs disappear, I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, the fact. All right, so I'm not against the idea of super dashing through them because that's a bad idea anyway. But the fact that he blocks and they disappear is kind of shit. Now I'm not saying give him orbs that never disappear on block at all times. Maybe he has to spin meter. Maybe EX orbs stay out after he blocks. That's totally fine with me. But give him something where he can actually use them for more than just like, oh man, did I bait you into a super dash?
Dude, just think about this though. Does it work the same for Piccolo? If you make him block, it doesn't, right?
Right.
So why the fuck does Piccolo get to do that shit and then Beerus just gets to eat shit?
Yeah, you get hectic as hell when you see that homing sphere come out, right? And you start trying to do whatever you can to make it disappear, and you miss your chance to hit him. You're like, oh, I'm just gonna super dash through it, and he 2H's you.
And I feel like Beerus is a way more streamlined, let me use these orbs to get in your face type character. Like he seems like he's supposed to be Piccolo ×3, more in that direction of let me set up this bomb ass Oki. But it's not that good. You just have to be able to challenge him,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
and it's you let the air out of a lot of people's sails with that, the way that works.
I mean, he called out 6 orbs, and I was just like, oh shit, he can bounce them all over the screen. And I'm like, yeah, but if you make them block once, they all disappear. I'm like, oh great, you know. So he basically just says, just hit me, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, I do feel like Beerus is one of the ones I've been looking at to be like, fuck, dude, he seems like he should be a good character, and I want him to be.
I do too.
So that's it for me.
Okay.
And I'll just say give Krillin longer limbs. That's all. Lionheart also asks, thoughts on Vegito and his spirit/captain sword.
What are you talking about? There was Vegito. What? I didn't see no Vegito.
What?
You did it?
Nah, man. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Was there a Vegito trailer?
Oh boy.
End of stream, dude. It's over. It's over. Fuck this guy. Yes, there was a Vegito trailer.
There was a Vegito trailer. All right, so I just want to point out off the top of my head, off top, that was an accident. We weren't supposed to see that, obviously, because they deleted it. And yeah, I don't know if that's a finished product or not, because there were some things in there that were looking kind of janky. The way his auto combo flowed into the grab part of it definitely looked pretty, it's not lazy, but just like jarring. Like the animation didn't flow very well. And I mean that ultimate looked pretty cool. The Meteor.
That was actually pretty.
That's pretty cool.
Creative little sequence there. Yeah, I dug that a lot.
Yeah. But the overall impression I got from him was, I mean, I obviously want to play him. I want to play him before I pass judgment. But after the Zamasu trailer, I was like, oh man, like Zamasu looks so damn interesting and like a breath of fresh air. And then here comes Vegeta with just like, throw you air grabs and shit, which air grabs are cool. And the fact that he has a chase after his air grab, it seems kind of interesting. And that might be what sets him apart from somebody like Broly, who has an air grab that works almost the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't really seeing a ton of stuff from Vegito other than him looking really cool that was making me feel like this guy needed to be on the squad immediately.
Honestly, I'd probably say the same thing about Zamasu. I think on paper he sounds great,
really
and
cool.
I don't know if that's more what you're commentating towards.
Well, that's the thing because we just got done talking about Beerus, and so people were wondering if Zamasu would be like a fly-unfly zoner type, and I'm like, if Beerus is any indication, hell no.
But what if he has all that shit and then it's like just some dumb shit, easy way to
get around
blow
it,
it up?
right? That's what
Yeah,
I mean.
it's
Yeah, you can't be dumb.
oh man, like I thought that shit was real.
That's good. It could be Beerus Part 2. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, the fly-on-fly stuff might be cool, but I mean, what if that's hella slow? What if it's like it looks slow? What if it doesn't look like it has like Magneto speed to it? So you probably can't use it to like triangle jump or anything.
I mean, in saying that, there's not a lot to go off of in those videos.
There's not. It's less than a minute. It's 30 seconds.
But yeah, I think the thing with characters like that is they're so easy to fuck up as far as balancing goes. So maybe they'll take the safe bet and be like, let's not make them super OP.
This is actually an important topic that if we have an opportunity to in the next episode, I want to talk about because it has been several months since Fighters has been out. They've announced that they're going to be rebalancing the game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
with the philosophy of Fighters' approach to basically bridge the gap between hardcore fighters and Dragon Ball casual fans, will they take the opportunity they have now to take off the training wheels and make people who've been playing this game for months already deal with some of the pressure that wasn't real before but could be real in an update patch?
I actually think the reverse is going to happen.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I think that for one, they probably will go back to slower super dashes if it's like a few frames slower.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely something I feel will happen. I'm really confident that they're gonna have some type of adjustment on the vanishes and how they work. I feel like that's like a given, at least one of the more obvious things to like really change the gameplay in a more positive way. As far as like for me, that would be a positive thing. But as far as like making it better for the casuals, I think it goes both ways. I feel like it would the super dash thing would also be very appealing to casuals and or not fuck. Actually I'm fucking that up. That would actually be worse for casuals.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But I do think that they're gonna balance it more towards competitive. So
I think that's what everybody's waiting for here. A lot of people are. The people who aren't already sold on it are definitely waiting for this patch, basically. And I want to talk about that next episode for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I believe that was all the questions, right, Gibby?
Yep.
Yes.
All the questions.
Yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we went for almost an hour and a half. We probably, by the time we sign off, will be an hour and a half. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around and hanging out with us. Gibby, is there anything that you wanted to announce on here? There are some subscribers present. Maybe you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so next month marks the 1-year anniversary of us getting our sub button.
Oh.
Yeah, right? And I'm going to be giving away a few things. One in particular right now is going to be a very limited edition Terry Bogard statue. One of 250 made. And I can't seem to find these anywhere anymore. I gave one to Southtown Arcade way back when, and I'll build this to take a picture of it so people can see it. And yeah, then we're going to raffle it off to the subs. And
raffle it off to the subs.
Yeah, along with a few other things. Also, if you haven't done so already, we go check our Twitter. I don't have the link on hand, but we're raffling off 2 King of Fighters 14 PS4 DLC codes.
Yes, sir.
So just all you have to do is retweet and follow, and you're entered to win. I'm going to announce the winners tomorrow.
On stream.
On stream, yep.
So if you haven't subbed and you've been on the fence about it, go ahead and do it, man. It's we're here for you, man.
Oh, yeah.
And for those of you that have been subbed, I'm happy that you guys are getting an opportunity to come up on some nice shit. So good looking out, man. Thank you guys for the support.
Always nice to see the loyal goons, man. Like, GVG guy, almost a year.
Yeah, man. Alchemist staying solid. Yeah, man. Really appreciate.
Love you guys.
All you guys.
Hellpockets, you need to do some squats. You've been lying to people. We've been getting donations and bits and subs, and you haven't done a single squat.
All right, so I'm going to stream sometime this week, and I will do squats as well. I will do retroactive squats, and I will do squats for new donations.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and tally up all the bits and all the donations we've gotten for the past let's say 6 months. Yeah, just 6 months. Because Chris, I know you haven't done any squats in the past year, but we'll say 6 months. All right, we'll be nice, and then you IRL it or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. I can just do it during like an E stream or something, you know.
Yeah, do it while you're doing East.
That'll like make that actually watchable.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, man. Well, yeah. I definitely plan also trying to do something for our subscribers, whether it be raffle off some Steam codes or stuff like that. You know, just to have something nice for you guys, man. Like I said, we appreciate the support. You guys have been around for quite some time, and if anything, the company. I like talking to you guys. So thanks for sticking around to our streams and Gibby's streams, my stream, and Hell Pocket's stream. But as far as Dragon Ball Fighters goes, the next few weeks, we fucking say shit like this all the goddamn time. Next few weeks are gonna be really interesting for Some of the Power, so keep your eyes peeled on that shit.
Yeah, I would definitely like to invite people who are, if they think they can make a final, actually no, by next week it'll be too late. But the top 20, if they want to have a platform to get their word out, you know, I invite you to contact us. I'll be reaching out to you, and you can, you know, we'll make something happen on the show. We'd like to have you on to talk about yourselves. You know, it works.
Yeah, man, go ahead and sign us off, bro. You're already on it. Oh shit. TGITGH. Miss. We.
Oh,
our good.
Oh,
our good old buddy.
Oh my god, I gotta do 5 squats for subs, huh? All right, I'm gonna start now. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching another episode of Mount Paozu Arcade. You guys have a good Thursday night. We'll be back on Tuesday next week. And for everybody out there in TV land, keep it silver, if you know what I'm saying.